welcome to my classroom. As I said before, I am a 7-year homeschool parent, and I taught 5 years of school previous to that. Right now, I am currently an online ESL teacher, and I talk about all things teaching in here, whether it's homeschool, teaching online, or um, teaching within the church. I would love to share those things that I know with you all. All right, so today we are on our homeschool series, or my homeschool series. Today I'm going to be talking about planning my homeschool year. So let's go ahead and get started into that. All right, so when I plan my homeschool year, I like to set goals specifically for everybody that is within our homeschool uh, parameter, right? So all my kids, even for myself, and the things that we would like to accomplish together, I like to plan out those things. So this is my planning paper that I do, or my what I like to do for the what my goals, I guess. I think it's really important to have homeschool goals. So I'll write down what I the goals that we have for every year, and then I'll write down the curriculum specifically, the curriculum that we'll use together, the curriculum that each one of my kids has. Um, I like to make sure that we have good extracurricular activities, so I'll write down what those are, and then we have a co-op, so I write down which classes that the co-op is going, or I am wanting the co-op to be responsible for. It doesn't look, excuse me, it doesn't look like much, to be honest, when you're just looking at the paper. But this is the foundation of my homeschool year, and I use this as a gauge from previous years. As I'm planning our next year, I can see the progress and what goals and things that my kids have made. Something important about this particular goal sheet. When I make this, I always ask my kids to, whenever I'm doing their goals, which goals would they also like to achieve? It teaches them how to set up achievable standards for themselves, and it shows them if they have met those standards or goals or not. So, I always make a homeschool contract with my kids. These are this is a big part of that homeschool contract. I can share that homeschool contract with you all in a different video, but like I said, the goals I feel are really important, especially for my kids' development. So after I have made the goal page, after I've done this, um, and I have figured out which curriculum I want, I make a master list of the curriculum that we're going to use for the year. So now this is very important. Again, I try to budget. Uh, I try to stay within a certain price range for our homeschool year, and that includes our co-op costs. That includes our materials that we use and things like that. Of course, it might be a little bit more expensive, but I like to be accountable for the materials and money that I'm spending within our homeschool. And I do give this to my husband to show him where the money that I'm requesting goes. Okay. So, for example, like together, this is our book list this year. Those are all the different wonderful books that we're going to read. Your pricing might be a little bit different. Maybe you can find those books in the library and things like that. Um, I prefer to have the hard copy at our home for those, so I know that we have it whenever we need it. And if it ends up taking a little bit longer, then we have that available. Uh, and then I also do a individual. Now, this year is a little bit different for my junior high kid. My son, I'm not teaching him as much in home this year. He's going to be taking some courses through our homeschool group. So I do also have how much the classes are going to cost, and I put that on on this materials list. If you notice over here on this side, and let me see, on the first column here, I do have materials list. What are we going to need? Now, that is our ELO. I have a specific place for our ELO materials, and then also the supplies that we're going to use in our classroom at home, what that how I organize and things like that. So those material, so I make a list of everything that I know of. This is something that is fluid throughout the year. So this is, I keep records online for my homeschool, for homeschool. And so this is something that I add to throughout the year so that I can know how much money I spent on homeschool for the school year. All right. So, and if you notice down here, I do have my total for the year. And this is what I believe my homeschool is going to cost. Oh, sorry about that. This is what I believe my homeschool will cost right now. And then down here, I do put through um, different monies that will be and when they're due throughout the year. All right. So this is just a little bit about how I set up the basic structure of my homeschool. Now, I do also write out my terms, and I'll show you how that. I'm going to do a separate video for my curriculum, like how I do my, well, I'll do it all in one. This isn't a very long video so far. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'll show you when I do my kids' calendar, I let them choose a school district that they want to follow. We have done year-round schooling in the past, so I have a different calendar for year-round school. If you would like that, I can share that with you as well. We're not doing year-round school this year, mainly because my junior high student is taking most of his classes not from me this year. He's taking most of them outside of the home, and those class schedules follow a traditional school year. So uh, we're not doing year-round schooling this next school year, but I do have that as a resource if you would like, if you are interested in that. But this year, something that I do a little bit differently than the traditional school is that I plan my terms, or I plan a teacher in service day before I do my grading periods, because I for my younger kids I don't really grade per se, but I do like to keep records. I'll keep records of um, I'll find some material from the beginning of that term or semester, and then I'll find a material from the end of that to show progression and how they are improving. So I do grading for both elementary and as my son has gotten older, he's in junior high now. He has traditional grading now, so that is a big part. Those records are, and having good records, I feel is a big part of what I do as a homeschool parent. I think it's important to have good records. And so I schedule a day before our midterms um, for that. I also write down when we're going to be taking our family vacations and all that. It's pretty straightforward. But I do write out a whole schedule calendar for our school year. I incorporate 36 weeks for the whole school year, and I separate those weeks into six weeks. So I call those are what I call terms. Each term is 6 weeks long, and they have a final grade for each 6 weeks. I will talk about how I do grading and stuff in a different video. But I do schedule out those 6 weeks in one, and we also do testing and all of those things. I schedule all of that at the beginning of the school year, along with um, projected field trip times and days that we're going to take off, whether it's teacher in service or holidays, things like that. I do plan all of that out. All right, so let's go on ahead and take a quick look at, and this will just be one on planning, just comprehensive on planning. But I also, in my homeschool year, this is my homeschool year, I do uh, each term have a term overview. So this is the overview that I have. This is what I use. This is basically my lesson plans. I did another video on scheduling, and it shows how I share those lesson plans with my kids. But this is really what I use. I don't do other lesson plans besides my overview. I check this off, and this is the record that I keep to show if my student has done the work or not. I also keep grades on this paper, right? So I have a separate sheet that I keep their tallies on, but I will write the actual grade on this paper every year. So for example, for week one, or not, I don't write the grade. Sorry, that's on a different paper. But here, like lessons 1 through 5, I would write in small letters 1 and then put their grade, 2, put their grade, things like that. And then for language arts, I always do like a check grade. I'm not going to talk too much about grading, but I do keep, this is my record sheet. I print, oh, I'm not even showing you what it is. I'm on the wrong page. All right, there you go. Sorry, this is my record sheet. This is my term. Um, so each week, and this is what I use for their whole term. I don't print off any other lesson plans, and I write down and I check off when we have completed certain activities or when they have done those. And I also write their right. So I just check. I use this as a check off to see if we've done it or not. All right, and so I have planned out our whole year, our nature study, all the books that we're going to read, everything like that. That is part of this specific um, term. All right. So I do one for each term, and I do that during the summer before we start school, mainly because I find that whenever I have this written out, it makes my school year so much easier, and we can just get stuff done and go and not have to worry about all of that. All right. So I will show you a little bit more about how I do grading and what that entails in a different video. But for now, that is all I have for you. That's how I plan out my school year. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment. And or if you would like access to some clean resources, I can also I can make that available to you as well. All right, guys. Well, have a great evening or afternoon, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.